How's it going, everyone? My name is Nate Hoya-Reynoso, and I am the host of the Carpe Natem Podcast. Today's podcast is about procrastination. Procrastination is the topic I've done for episode 1 multiple times. And if that isn't a testament to procrastination, I don't know what is. Basically, every episode 1 of the Carpe Natem podcast or the Rockstar Mentality Radio podcast or whatever podcast that I've ever tried to create or come up with, episode 1 is usually about procrastination and why it's really bad for you. I mean, it's obvious why it's bad for you because the longer you take to do something, the longer you have to wait for the life that you truly deserve. Man, procrastination is such a burden because the more time that you waste doing nothing is just going to pile up and turn into regret when you're on your deathbed. I can guarantee you that no one sitting on their effing deathbed is thinking to themselves, man, I really wish I spent more time on Instagram double tapping pictures of girls in bikinis. No one. No one in their right mind is going to think to themselves like, man, I'm so glad I spent all that time doing absolutely fucking nothing. Unless that nothing was for recovery. I honestly get it. If you are working multiple jobs, long hours, if you are overworking yourself, if you have children or other responsibilities that take away from your rest and recovery, if you need to do nothing for a couple days, by all means, the best thing to heal your voice is to not talk. Like, it makes sense to do nothing when nothing is appropriate. However, I find a lot of people doing a lot of nothing idly. And it's been like that for a very long time, whether it be just binge watching junk TV, scrolling through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, addictions to porn and scrolling. It's always been a thing. Even before technology, we had people who did their bare minimum to do absolutely nothing and would potentially be somebody who abused substances like alcohol or any other illicit substances. From the dawn of time, it has been so easy to procrastinate and not do what the heck you need to be doing. So why should you change? Why should you do the thing that you've been wanting to do for so long? Why should you not be on your couch playing video games? Is playing video games getting you anywhere you want in life? If you're a streamer, or if your goal is to be a streamer or a competitive game player, then yeah, dude, play as much video games as you fucking can. Like, do it within reasonable expectations and make sure that you're taking care and managing your other bills to make sure that you're able to afford your high-speed internet, your gaming rig, the games that you're playing, the editing software. Like, be about your business and do what you have to do. But if you're just playing video games for the sake of playing video games, man, like, come on. You're really going to waste a whole 9 hours playing Grand Theft Auto? Hey, I do it too. I will, on days off, play something like Bloodborne or hop on my Switch. And Stardew Valley has 80 hours of my time because I built an impressively large farm, and I love that game. And like, the amount of time I spent playing on that game, as much fun as it was and as cute as that game is, like, there was times where I was playing it where I could have been doing something else that would have benefited me a little more. I'm not telling you to stop doing everything that's fun or recreational. I'm telling you to allot some time to getting shit done and then reward yourself with some of the vices that you take part in. I'm down for smoking weed. I'm down for drinking. I don't drink, but other people do. Other people like doing other stuff, and that's totally fine as long as you're taking care of your business. Is your rent paid? Are your bills paid? Are your kids being taken care of? Are you washed? Did you shower today? Are you taking care of yourself? Did you eat? Have you meditated? When was the last time you read 10 pages in a book? Did you exercise today? There's so many things that could benefit you and put some dopamine in your body and some adrenaline in your veins. There's so many things worth doing that'll improve you. Small incremental changes that will make a long-lasting impression on your life. And yet so many people fail to take action for whatever reason. I'm not here to judge, man. I'm here to comment. And if you're listening to this episode, it's because you either have a problem with procrastination or you just like hearing me talk about people who are procrastinating. I get hyped up on this topic because I am a huge procrastinator, and I get so upset once I finish doing whatever the heck I was procrastinating on because it honestly didn't take that much time, and once I was done doing it, I felt great. Why did I prevent myself from feeling great when I could have just done it when I said I was going to do it and then had all this time after to do other tasks or even to have recreational time? I honestly think it comes from a lack of discipline. I'm too much of a free spirit and I want to do whatever brings me the most amount of fun at this time. But you gotta be willing to do the hard work. If you want to get to the next point, to the next step, to the next level, you gotta do uncomfortable things. You gotta do things that'll make you feel vulnerable and open. You'll have to suffer and struggle, and it's pain and misery sometimes. And that's not to discourage you, but I truly do believe that life is suffering. Everything that we do from the minute we wake up to the minute we sleep, sometimes even sleeping is suffering because we have nightmares. There's so much suffering in this world, and it makes me laugh because this life is full of suffering. But you get to choose what you suffer for. Did you know that? Did you know that you have the power to choose what you get to suffer for? Now, of course, there are incidences and events that are completely out of your control, but your reaction to those incidences and those events are under your control. You can choose how to feel and how to respond and how to react to anything that has happened to you or happening to you or will happen to you. You have that total freedom. You have the freedom to create the world around you and the story that you identify with. You can choose to justify your behaviors. You can choose to justify your procrastination, but it's not benefiting anybody. You can't get someone else to do your push-ups, bro. You gotta do the push-ups yourself. You gotta be willing to do the work and put in the time. But you get to choose what you suffer for. You want an amazing body? You're going to have to diet really well and work out. And you're going to have to work out hard. And the pain and suffering you'll go through when you're sore, when you're tired, when you want to eat a bag of cupcakes, but you can't because you have chicken and broccoli on your dinner plate. At any point, you could say, fuck the chicken and eat the cupcakes. But that's your choice. You want that rockin' body. You want to look aesthetically beautiful in the summer. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you like being fat. That's your thing. You've always been big and you're happy being big. It doesn't bother you. Your doctor says you're healthy. For the most part, then do whatever the heck you want, man. But again, you get to choose and suffer for what you want to do. So procrastinating on what you need to do. Don't think of it as hey man, that's a task that I really don't want to do, and it's going to hurt to do, and it's going to suck, and it's going to be boring. Think of it hey, I need to get that done, and once I'm done, it's going to push me on to the next level, and then once I'm on the next level, I'm going to feel amazing. I'm going to feel accomplished because I set something as a goal, and then I completed it. High five myself. You know what really sucks? Running. But you know what running gets you? A runner's high. A bunch of people go running, and once they're done, they feel like they could conquer the world, like they just sold 1 million shares on Wall Street. But boy, oh boy, does running suck. I don't know anybody who's just happy to be I'm going to go outside, and I'm just going to run as fast as I can. Because that ain't me, man. I will procrastinate by doing this podcast until I can no longer tolerate my procrastination and will get up with a bunch of energy. Will put on my running shoes and run around the block until I'm exhausted. I'm going to Hawaii this year, so I need to look good on the beach. Does that mean I can't have short-term gratification? Abso-fucking-lutely. But in the long run, I'm going to look amazing because I'm going to look at those photos and post them up when I'm 50 and 60 being yeah, these are my golden years. My friend Chris Burns, who has been hosting his men's masterminds and has been doing these amazing transformative workshops with the guys he's been working with. He reminded me of a Chinese proverb that says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. If you have trouble with procrastinating, I honestly recommend Brian Tracy. He has a book called Eat That Frog. I will definitely go more in depth with that book and some of the chapters in that book. But basically, Brian Tracy says if you have an ugly frog and it's the task that's the most important. It's the biggest task on your list. It's the one that needs to get done right now. You just eat the frog. Most people eat tadpoles all day thinking that they've accomplished something because, look, I ate like 7 tadpoles when the frog is still sitting on your plate. Say you got 2 big tasks. You got 2 hard, awful tasks. Which tasks are you going to do? You got to eat the uglier frog. The one that's hardest to eat. The one that's hardest to do. The one that you don't want to do the most. That's the one you do. Crush that frog. Eat it. Eat it with a side of ketchup. Finish it. Don't leave a single thing on the plate and lick your fingers after it. So good. And once you're done, you're done. The biggest, ugliest task that you had is finished. How amazing is that? The thing that you didn't want to do most is done. It's over. The sense of relief that you must feel. Oh, that task is done. I got it done. It's over. Wipe your hands clean. I did it. Because procrastination is like mold, man. Too much time left unattended, and it will just grow and spread and become worse. And if you think you feel bad now for putting off that idea that you had, for putting off writing the book you've always wanted to write, for building the business that you've always wanted to build, for being the father that you said you wanted to be, for being the person, the lover, the spouse, for being the physicist, the teacher, the greatest basketball player, whatever it may be, whatever you're procrastinating on right now, you probably feel horrible about it. But guess what? If you keep procrastinating, it's only going to amplify. It only gets better when you crush the task. Sometimes I feel like we procrastinate because we don't have a list of steps to take. Often enough, we look at tasks that seem super daunting and don't know how to tackle them because we don't know how to tackle them. If I were to tell you to go start a business, how would you do it? Where would you start? Well, there's a lot of processes to go through to even get started. Where does one begin? And everyone's going to be different. Your situation is going to be different than mine. My goals are going to be different than yours, obviously. But there is a starting point. There is something that you need to do specifically to get started. Say you want to start a business. Well, the first thing you need to do is figure out what kind of business is it. Are you going to be selling something? Are you going to be purchasing something at a cheap rate and then selling it at a profit? Are you going to be making something? Are you selling services? Are you selling items? Do you take care of things? Do you take care of pets, people? Do you take care of problems? What problems do you solve? What do you bring to the table? Once you have all that written out, let's see. Let's start off with a website, maybe figuring out a name, creating a package to offer clients and customers, and then maybe creating a logo. Like, it starts off with a bunch of little tasks, but you put them on a list and you figure out which one is the most important. Getting your business license, getting your name out there, getting registered, getting your business tax ID. All that comes with time and effort and energy. But again, you get to choose what you suffer for. So if choosing to suffer for the betterment of your future is an option, I would definitely go over that. If I have to do something boring and I have to learn and beef up my knowledge on a subject so that way I can become an expert so that it betters my future, I'm willing to suffer for that. If I have to do what's hard now so I can enjoy my time later, I'm going to do what I have to do because I know that it's going to come at a benefit to me. And that's how you should be thinking about procrastination and the thing that you've been procrastinating on. Tell me what you're procrastinating on. Find us on Facebook, on Instagram, or wherever they let you write comments, on YouTube, and tell me, what have you been procrastinating on? What did you do to stop procrastinating? What was the straw that broke the camel's back? If I would have done this podcast when I first got the software to do this podcast, I would have had 500 plus episodes by now. The straw that broke the camel's back for me is this feeling that I have something to give to the world and I am not able to do so. And by doing so, I am then affecting the world negatively instead of positively and progressively as I want to be. That might have been a little confusing for some people, but basically, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling anxious. I feel like I got a message in me. I feel like I have this ability to change the future, and I haven't been acting upon it. So then by not acting upon it, I feel like I'm not aligned with my ethics, with my morals. I'm not fulfilling my purpose on this world, which is to uplift, educate, and inspire by using creativity, humor, and my knowledge to do so. So if I'm not doing what I am put on this earth to do, and I am procrastinating instead, man, I feel that. I feel it in my chest. I feel it in my stomach. I feel it in my heart. It feels heavy. It's like I know that I'm doing something wrong. And it's not the same for everybody. Maybe you don't feel these feelings, but I feel these feelings. So I know when I'm procrastinating, when I'm putting things off, I know that feeling of shame and guilt that I'm not putting my best foot forward. I know what that feels like, and I don't like feeling that. And the biggest cause of it is my inaction to put myself where I need to be in order to move myself forward, to do the thing that would push me forward. I spent over a month writing up and creating a resume when I could have just made a quick one and sent it out to the jobs that I wanted to apply for. If I got rejected, edit the resume and go on. But no, the resume had to be perfect. And because it had to be perfect, that means it had to go through a lot more work. And because I had to put a lot more work through it, I didn't do it. I put it off. And I missed job opportunities because I was procrastinating. I was doing everything else around it. I didn't want to do the task, which was just finish and complete the resume. Once it was done and I put it out there, oh my God, the compliments I got on the resume telling me that I did a job well done creating something beautiful. It was amazing. I finished the daunting task that was plaguing me, and now I feel better for doing it? Ha! Who would have thought? So now here I'm telling you that there's a benefit to doing the task that you've been putting off. Get up, get out of your seat, whatever the heck you're doing, get inspired, get fired up, peak state, get up, and go do the thing that you've been putting off. Just get it done. Get it freaking done. Then do it relentlessly. Let nothing distract you until the task is done. And when you're finished, when you finally finish it, pat yourself on the back and give yourself a goddamn cookie because you deserve that. What have you been procrastinating on? What has it cost you? Where do you feel like you would be if you hadn't been spending your time binge watching Netflix series, stalking your ex on Instagram and Facebook, getting into fights with people on Twitter? Where would you be if you would have channeled the energy that you felt during a heated argument on something that doesn't even matter, like Chick-fil-A, and whether you should eat it in the month of June? Imagine if that effort was put towards a course or a book or some art or some music, the things we would be able to experience if you would just fix your ability to sit down and get your tasks done. If you really struggle with discipline, I highly recommend looking into time management strategies and skills that you can learn. Like, I believe one of them is the Pomodoro method or the Pomodori method. I forget the exact name. But basically, you set a timer and set it for 40 minutes. And in those 40 minutes, you do nothing but the task that you need to do. Once the 40 minutes are up, you get a 5 to 10 minute break. And then you then start the cycle again, another 40 minutes. And then after that, you get another 5 to 10 minute break, and then another 40 minutes. And I think after about 3 rounds of that, you get like a 30 to 45 minute break. You reward yourself. You focus unrelentlessly on your task for the time allotted. Get yourself a planner. Set some time aside to do things. I have to set time aside for exercising, for eating, for sleeping, for recreational time. If I want to play video games, it has to be within a allotted time because I have other tasks to do. I have books to read. I have podcasts to record. Podcasting is on my list of things to do, and I put that in its allotted time. And during that time, I do nothing but record or do nothing but edit. Whatever I got to do to get the task done, I am willing to do it because I know that the end result is going to be so good. It's like the feeling you get when you're making cookies You don't just eat the straight up cookie dough, you get sick. But the entire time you're baking and mixing and rolling and placing it on the sheet, you're thinking to yourself how good the cookie is. And when you let it bake and your house ends up smelling like chocolate chips and oatmeal, it's so good. What you're doing is putting in the effort that it takes to make something and pulling yourself forward by reminding yourself how good the cookies are going to come out, how proud you're going to be when they're finished, how delicious they're going to taste when they're done. You are letting yourself know that if you complete that task, you will get that reward. And of course, as soon as the cookies are done, you take a big old bite of the hottest one that you find. And whether that cookie's good or not, be proud that you accomplished the task that you did. Do what you have to get it done. Even if the cookie doesn't come out the best cookie in the world, the fact that you did it shows that you have the ability to do so. Be proud that you accomplished the task. Give yourself a pat on the back. If no one else congratulates you on your work, congratulate yourself. Honor yourself. Award yourself. Praise yourself. You have to be your own biggest fan, because what a procrastinator needs is encouragement, empathy, and motivation to do what they need to get done. And unless you got a couple $1,000 to spend on some people to do all the cheering and hollering for you, my best suggestion is getting real good at being your own cheerleader. Get that task done. Eat that frog. Let me know what you've been procrastinating on and where you would be if you hadn't been procrastinating. And for those who crushed their goals and overcame procrastinations, I want to hear your stories too. What were you procrastinating on? What broke the camel's back? And what did it feel like once the task was done? How did it change your life? Inspire these other people and let them know that by doing what they need to get done, by finishing their task, by crushing their goal, how good it's going to feel, how good it will be for them once they finish it, because I know how good it feels when I set something, put my mind to it, focus unrelentlessly, and get it done. Yeah, baby. I hope you're fired up as I am. This has been another episode of the Carpe Natem Podcast. I appreciate y'all for listening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Give us a like and a follow anywhere that you hear this audio. Leave a comment and a review. Engage in the conversation. Join the Facebook group. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, anywhere where you find my face. They're all under the name Carpe Natem. I'm pretty sure once you look it up, you'll find me. This has been another episode, and I hope this inspires you to get off your ass and get after it. Chase after them cheeks. This is Nate De La Hoya signing off. Have yourself a great rest of your day.